The midsummer always brings about customer clinics sponsored by their respective dealerships, and I always encourage customers to attend those clinics to learn important information about tips and tricks, of course, about their combine and headers to better help them get ready for the fall harvest. Certain things that I'm always particular about are anything related to drivetrains, so you always want to make sure that you're inspecting belts and chains, and of course anything that has to do with the residue management system, because it's the residue management system or residue management of the current harvest is what preps next year's cropping season. So it's always important to make sure that you have your chopper and spreaders running at top-notch condition and performance. So anytime you have a broken or worn knife blades, you want to make sure that those are replaced, because not only is it going to result in improper distribution of material, but it's also the vibration that it can create on the damage that will result on the combine as well. So it's a good housekeeping rule to make sure that you keep the residue management system running in tip-top conditions. As we go into the harvest season, especially on the corn side of things, one of the things I always recommend customers pay particular close attention to is making sure that the corn head is well maintained and well set. Now, spending just a little bit of extra time paying close attention to deck plate adjustment, making sure that you have the tolerances set just right, and of course a taper if necessary, because it's very easy to minimize head shatter, especially in a very dry corn harvest, to maximize grain retention. Oftentimes I notice in the fields that one of the largest culprits for grain loss is coming right from that corn head, and just doing a couple little things better, making sure that you're optimizing your feeder house or your header speed, making sure your knife rollers are in good condition. A sharp knife is going to be a lot more efficient, both in power and in performance, cutting quality, if those knives are sharp to begin with. So it's just as important to keep those knives healthy as it is the chopper knives on the combine. So making sure your speeds are optimized, making sure your knives are in good health, that your stripper plates or deck plates on the header are also adjusted to fit the diameter and the stalks and the conditions that you're going to be running in. I always recommend that when you see something wrong with the machine, always fix it on your combine, whether it be the combine or the header, because a small problem or the start of a problem will just expand and grow into a greater one if it's not taken care of. So always, whenever you see an issue with the machine starting to come to light, any sort of mechanical issue, a vibration, a belt that's starting to separate, loose chains, make sure you don't start the season with those. Fix those before season. During season, it's always a good idea on a daily basis, when you're going around checking and tensioning chains and belts and looking and greasing the combine, make sure you take heed of those potential risk factors on the combine. Just keep the machine running in good health. At the end of harvest, make sure that you clean the combines out, because all sorts of plant residue and grain residue attract all sorts of other pests into the combine. Make sure your rock trap is cleaned out. Pests, they always attract other pests, and then they start to eat on wiring and other rubber and plastic items on the combine. So you don't want them to start wearing into those. So it's always a good idea to make sure you get that machine well cleaned before you put it away. One nice thing about the Lexion combine is because we don't have any shoe augers in the machine. This is ideal for the seed producer as well as for winter storage. Is the floor sections of our preparation pan, which is the conveyor that lies right underneath the threshing system. Those panels you can pull those right out through the rock trap, which makes cleaning the combine out between crops or for winter storage very, very easy. So pay close attention to all those nooks and crannies that want to hold grain and hold dust and debris on there. Make sure those are all cleaned out before you put it up, and make sure you grease it real good before you put it up as well.